It's the Playhouse Podcast with Kat and JJ.
Believe it. I missed everything.
Missed the show?
What am I going to do?
Check out the Daily Podcast.
So let's say you've been flirting with this guy at work and he suddenly invites you to go to Puerto Rico for the holidays. You're not romantically interested yet. Should you take him up on this offer? We've got a listener who's probably going to do this. Coming up later in the podcast. Let's go.
We have a coworker who I was just talking to yesterday about how this week has been the week that he's been going through all these bins of his. He had just moved and he's getting all of his affairs in order. He said, I'm like, you're still young. He said, you never know when you're going to go. And I just want all my ducks in a row. People know what I want.
It's kind of the last responsible thing you can do as a living human, you know?
Yeah. And this guy named Skip from Queensland, Australia, is talking about how he's planning his own funeral, but he wants it to be above and beyond. He's like, this is the last thing I have full control of. He wants to have his ashes put together in like a cannonball and shot out of a cannon.
That's cool.
I've been to a lot of funerals, like been to heaps of them over the years, and never enjoyed any of them. I don't want to put my kids through all the drama of a conventional funeral and hole in the ground and tombstones and all that. I've got a say in what's going to happen.
I really think, and the more I grow older, I really think if I can have my family pull off that Viking funeral, I want that.
Really disturbing.
And now that we actually, live on some water, I think it would be great if I die in that house, that they put me on an old rickety boat, they light it on fire, and they just push it off the dock.
Yeah.
That would be cool. That's a great way to go.
It's the last image that they have.
Right?
It's traumatic.
That laying in the coffin, listen, no matter how good your funeral service is, you never look right.
No.
And I don't want my kids, and probably I'm sure I'll die far before my wife does. I don't want them just sitting around in a big long line of people coming by and going, we're here to pay our respects.
I know.
You have my condolences. Like, that's
you're not going to
trash.
be cremated?
If they won't do the Viking thing, then I'd rather be cremated.
Yeah.
Right? The funeral thing, I've been to my share of them as well. And I know it's for the people left behind, but I think it's just, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I just am not a fan of it. I think it's stupid. When you die, have the loved ones around, maybe have a little get together, have somebody make some food, share some good stories, then move on with your life.
Mm-hmm.
And that whole, I got to wait 3 days, and then we got to have all these people parade through a funeral home and stand in line and then say, how I'm sorry that I get it. You're sorry that somebody lost a loved one. We all are. And then wait another day and then bring the body to a church and then have I have no problems with a priest or a pastor coming by and saying a couple of prayers with the family, but then have a big service and everyone has to sing Amazing Grace. And then you got to wheel the coffin out to
It is kind of a weird concept.
Cemetery. And then you got to have a burial. And then it's just such a drawn out thing.
Yeah. I want to know if anybody has their stuff together and you have an idea of how you want things, like specific ways you want it to go. I love the people that want to hire somebody to dress in black and stand by a tree far away to watch with sunglasses on, really add that mystery.
Yeah.
Like, who is that person?
That's a great idea.
Who is that? And then run away right when they lower you into the ground. Have them run away as fast as possible.
Get into a car and squeal out.
Yeah, and they're already prepaid and everything.
Andrea said, my dad wants to be stuffed and put in a glass case at the Legion.
Oh, come on,
He wants us to put a roll of drink tickets on his fingers so people can take a drink ticket each time they come in.
Oh, my gosh. That is, one, really thought out. Two, very thoughtful of your dad.
Well thought out. I like that. Hey, good morning. How are you?
Good.
Good. What's your name?
Cassandra.
Cassandra, you got a thought on this? How do you want to be finished? How do you want to be remembered?
How do I want to be remembered?
Or do you know somebody
calling for this topic?
Do you know? Are we on the same page here today?
Yes.
Okay. Is there somebody in your family that's already made adjustments for their funeral or their last moments?
Yes, my dad has.
Okay. What does he want to do?
What does he want to do? He wants to be.
No. What does he want to do?
What do you mean?
Yeah. What are his plans, honey?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I thought you were about to say he wants to be cremated.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And that's all you know.
All right, good call. Thanks for joining us,
Yeah.
Cassandra. Have a great morning.
Awesome.
Take care.
You didn't have to be rude.
Oh, we could have just let that go on for 5 minutes like that.
Well, we could have said goodbye.
I did. I said goodbye. I said thank you for your time. Goodbye.
You said it with a tone.
I'm fine. How about you two?
Great. Look at that. A conversation. What's
So
going
do
on,
you
man?
have plans for the afterlife or like your last wish? How's it going to go off?
Yes.
Okay.
I want to be cremated by myself and pay the extra special fee to be done by myself. And then I want everything left in the crematorium, bones, all the pieces, parts, whatever, mixed in cement and made into a cement wall on my farm.
There.
Oh, okay.
It's a unique idea.
Why are you saying by yourself? Do people burn multiple people at the same time? What do you mean by yourself?
Do you really want to know the answer?
Yeah,
please do.
I have no idea. I'm a
Shed some
DJ.
light.
Yes.
Stop.
They put several bodies. They put several bodies in at the time, and if there's 10 of them in there, they divide the ashes up into 10.
You
They
are
take out
lying. That makes me.
Nope,
I'm
they-
going to cry.
They take out the bones and the pieces, and that doesn't get handed to you. That gets moved someplace else because not
No
everything
way.
burns. Yes.
How do you know
It costs
this?
extra. Well, get a hold of the crematorium. Ask them how much it would cost to be done by yourself and specify by yourself, and it's going to be double or triple what it normally would be.
You just devastated so many people,
Why
and
is-
I'm not mad at you, but this is like something that nobody knows.
Why is that important to you to not have somebody else's ashes in your cement wall, too?
Because I didn't mix my DNA with anybody else while I was alive. Why should I do it while I'm dead?
My goal was to mix my DNA with as many people as I could while I was alive.
And he couldn't. JJ should be in a wall alone somewhere.
Really? So that's it, though. So we're just, all right, we're crapping,
Wow.
we're crapping on the whole funeral
And
business today.
And then I'm paying somebody to come to the wall once a year and commemorate my death.
Okay.
You put a lot of thought into this so far, haven't you?
Oh, heck yeah. Oh, yeah, I sure have. I even, I looked for a specific farm by the river so I could make sure the wall had a view of the river.
Oh my God.
You're not circling the drain right now. You doing okay?
He sounds prepared.
Yes.
All right.
I'm doing fine.
Okay, good. I just, I don't want to
Well,
be.
we'll come visit you. You got to have like a tradition,
Don't
like when you
speak
go to
for me.
Ireland and you lay upside down, and you kiss the Blarney Stone like that. You got to make it fun, or people aren't going to want to go.
Well, a lot of the juggalos probably would stop anyhow because they've been stopping here for years.
The what?
Juggalos.
You don't know what juggalos
Wait,
are?
is that the Insane Clown Posse people?
Are we saying
Yes,
something
yes.
we shouldn't?
No, that's
Yes.
Oh, it is.
This just keeps getting weirder.
Yeah.
All right, this is.
Why would I want to be normal? Give me a break.
Yeah, no, I got you, man. Well, you're listening to the right show.
You win. You
I
win.
hope you have a great morning.
So there was a question that was dividing the internet yesterday. Every once in a while, we'll run into that, like the blue dress, tan dress.
Yeah.
Remember, people were losing their minds there for like 48
I
hours.
like the audio ones. Did
Yeah.
you hear Switzerland or oil change? Those ones have always amazed me.
I love the one where it was like, okay, so listen closely. We're going to play a sound. And if you hear the word red, then you use your left part of the brain. If you use blue, whatever. And then all of a sudden it's like, turn it up. And then it just says, wiener. And of course you're getting your oil changed or whatever. It just yells out
great.
wiener. Anyway, the internet went nuts over this question right
Rather
here.
have a dog that can talk or a cat that'll go half with you on the rent.
Hear me when I tell you, anyone that chooses a dog that can talk doesn't pay rent. Because a cat that will go half with you on the rent, bro, that changes the whole definition of what a cat person is. That's wild.
That is wild. And I would choose a cat hands down 10 out of 10 times.
I agree. I have too many people that talk around me already.
Yeah.
I
Would
don't
you
need-
really want to know what Addison is like thinking?
No, that
or,
dog,
like-
all that dog thinks is, I'm
Hungry,
going to eat.
poop,
I
hungry.
got to go potty.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat. I got to go potty.
So I'd love to know your answer if you want to text in which one would appeal to you. Maybe you're one of those fur mamas and you just want to chat with your dog all day because you're an introvert and you don't want to leave your house and it's just you two. Or
But cats just mind their own, man.
Yes.
They're looking for a sunny spot. They take a dump and a whiz every once in a while. They eat very little.
Yeah.
Other than the hair, I mean, if they're paying half your mortgage, I'm down.
I know. And there's nothing more appealing than that. Sometimes you shack up with a human that can't even handle that responsibility.
Dude,
so.
I'd get 2 cats then and they could pay the whole thing.
Good thinking.
They'd be their own friends.
Or split it 3 ways. Still, it's down for you. So
Got all these great ideas.
nothing like this will ever happen in life. But that is the internet question that people were going nuts over. How would you answer that? Would you rather have a dog that can talk or a cat that would go half on rent?
I hope we keep getting more and more of these kind of questions and queries so that nobody has to think about the election.
Yeah, I love that too.
It's really taking my mind
Light
off it.
stuff.
I was talking we got done with football practice last night, and we have a lot of freshmen on the team, right? And they can't drive. So a lot of moms and dads will pick them up after football practice. It was tonight will be our last night practice, and then school starts next week, so we'll do everything after school. And one of the moms brought up that she was listening to the show and she had asked what you had as far as your condition. I said, well, she had ulcerative colitis, and then basically her colon just quit working, and they replaced it with part of her intestines, and they called that was a J pouch.
You listened
yeah,
to me.
well, it was 9 months of this complaining on the radio.
Never.
Engulfing. And I don't know why she asked about it. I think it was because she wanted to tell me that she had got bursitis.
Oh, yes.
And
so my brother just had bursitis.
What is bursitis?
It's like, it's kind of mimics the symptoms, bursitis, where you feel like it's a snake bite in your. Oh, no. Hers is in her knee.
Pain?
Never mind. What did he have? What did my brother just have?
A snake bite?
No. So colitis feels like you're getting a snake bite in your gut all day, every day for days on end. But bursitis, it's like an inflammation of fluid-filled sacs in your knee or joints. So that looks painful.
Yeah, she's not I thought it was an old person thing, and she's maybe in her 30s, 40s.
Okay.
And she got bursitis. And it made me start thinking, ladies, if you take childbirth out, and we've talked about how much childbirth hurts.
Yeah.
But if you take that out of the equation, what's the worst pain you've had? Was it your colitis?
No, it was C. diff. Have you ever heard of C. diff?
No.
So it's very...
I've heard of it. I just don't know what it is.
You have to be quarantined. That's when they quarantined me at Mayo for 2 weeks. I was stuck in a room, and then if I needed anything, they'd have to talk to me through a monitor. And then if I really needed something or they had to check on me, they had to put on hazmat suits.
But what is it?
I have no idea. Honestly, it's
you just had it and laid in the hospital for 2 weeks and didn't ask about it?
Where there's something in your poop that is highly contagious, but it hurts so bad. It's like you're almost going to poop out a huge softball.
Jesus.
That's what it feels like, but there's nothing there. So I don't know what that sensation is.
It's got to be an inflammation of your rectum.
Barely knew him. But it was not pleasant, and I barfed from the pain, and I can handle pain. I'm pretty good with pain. But that was over the top, and that was a lot. That was a lot to deal with.
So the big question is, as a lady,
yes,
and fellas, sorry, you're exempt from this question, what is the biggest pain ever? The amount of people that are saying toothaches.
Okay. Yep.
Lower back pain. Those seem to be the 2 biggest ones. Angela had said my husband. That was kind of cute. But what is the biggest pain ever? Jasmine, you got one for us?
I had mastitis because I nursed my children.
Yes.
Oh.
Okay.
So that was excruciating. A milk duct got plugged. Then they said, you need a strong sucker. So my husband raises his hand and said, I'm in.
I got this.
What a good man.
That was the one. The second pain was after childbirth. I ended up getting a thrombosis on my rectum, and this is disgusting. So it was a blood clot that came out, and it was like I had a human hanging off my butt.
All right, we're good on that one. We're good on that
Oh
one.
my God, that mastitis! I can't even imagine. We had a woman, Melissa, who worked here, and do you remember Christian rolled up to their driveway and she had passed out? He didn't know how long she had been passed out on the grass. She had the baby in the car seat. And she must have just set him down, but her duct was so infected that it caused her to pass out. And instead of white milk coming out, it was green almost. It was super infected. So that's serious stuff.
Our pleasure to welcome Danielle onto the show. We know that she might be going to Puerto Rico. And then she had kind of trailed off as to how this whole thing was happening. And Kat had asked a couple of questions, and she was a little cagey, and we thought, all right, let's see if we can get the details on the radio. So first off, tell everybody what's going on here, will you?
So there's this guy at work, and he very obviously has a crush on me, not to brag or anything, but, I flirt with him for fun sometimes. And he basically offered to take me to Puerto Rico for the holidays. And I've never been to Puerto Rico before, and that just sounds really cool to, like, get out of the cold and go somewhere new.
Yeah.
But my mom keeps telling me that I shouldn't do it, and that it's not the right thing to do. But I don't know. It sounds fun.
So the holidays are a ways away. I know people say they're going to be here before you know it. But what if something happens in the next 4 months? Like, you're going to have to keep up this flirtatious charade this whole time to go to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, I mean, like, I mostly know him through work, so he doesn't really know anything about my personal life, and I don't really need him to. So I feel like if anything were to happen in my personal life, like, I could just keep pretending and flirt with him, and then after we get back from Puerto Rico, I could just be like, oh, no, I'm not feeling it.
But what are you gonna do while you guys are sharing a room in Puerto Rico? Like, I mean,
there will be things expected.
Expectations will be high for him, right?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's just a conversation that we'll have to have when we get there.
Jesus!
You have to do this before you go. Like, we're just going as friends, right? Like, this is a very nice gift from you. And
even if you say we're going as friends, he expects something to happen in Puerto Rico. Guaranteed.
Yeah, I agree with JJ for once.
Listen, I'm no hoochie, but a trip to Puerto Rico is a trip to Puerto Rico.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm no hoochie, but a trip to Puerto Rico is a trip to Puerto Rico. What would you do at this? Like, you're single, you're really untethered. A dude, maybe you're not. No, so the other part of me says, what if this blooms into an amazing romance because they're in an exceptional situation and they really, really like each other?
That could happen. What if you go down there and you're like, wow, actually, this guy is pretty cool.
I just didn't get to know him at work very well.
Yeah. So, but I do not think you should go down there and be surprised if he tries something. You're in the same room. You're in a very romantic situation.
Drinks will flow.
Barely any clothes on all day. So do you really want to write it off? You know, he wants to show you a good time.
If you were single, what would you do?
If I were single and this guy wasn't a garg, I would go.
Talked to Danielle a couple of seconds ago. This is an interesting take.
So there's this guy at work, and he very obviously has a crush on me, not to brag or anything, but, I flirt with him for fun sometimes. And he basically offered to take me to Puerto Rico for the holidays.
Now, she doesn't right now have any real attraction to this guy.
Flirting with him for fun is, I don't know if that's a good idea.
It's a victimless crime.
No, it's not, because he doesn't sound like somebody that goes out with women a lot. If these are the lengths that he's going to just to get her alone.
How do you know she's not a dime? How do you not know that?
I don't think she's not. I think she's got it going on. I'm just saying don't play with him because people, you don't know what they're going to do in response to feeling scorned.
You watch too many Lifetime movies. You think that this guy's going to snap.
They're based on real stories.
And he's going to kill her and bury her on the beach. I don't think that's going to happen. But you just said
your chances are never zero.
All of this, if you were single, you'd go.
But it sounds like she's almost doing it as a sport. Like, oh, I flirt with him for fun. You know, don't play with people's emotions like that. You don't know what their next move is going to be.
Sonny, if you were Danielle, would you go on this trip?
Oh, yeah, I did go on it.
Oh.
Not to Puerto Rico, but 2 weeks on a Harley, 6,000 miles.
Girl.
The thunder between your thighs. Tell us about this. You had no interest in this guy, but you went on a 2-week trip with him?
No. I had interest, but we went with what happens on the ride stays on the ride, and we're just open to the experience.
So did a lot happen on the ride?
Yeah, it was life-changing. I think I'm going to further my studies in Montana, and it was really life-changing for me. Oh. And we went knowing that we're just going to make the best of it. And
so this was recent.
Enjoy each other's company. Yeah, I just got back.
We don't want you to move.
Yeah.
Well, she can always stream the show.
I graduate college. I graduate in spring, and I was kind of stuck in, what am I going to do after? And now I'm like, hey, I got the whole world in front of me, and I'm young and single, and I can I choose to take the best gifts from that adventure.
Wow.
But go knowing that and being upfront that, hey, let's just enjoy the trip and whatever happens, no expectation kind of thing.
So I think I'm reading between the lines here of that a lot probably happened, but when you get back, the agreement was we're not going to pursue this together romantically. We were just going to have our 2 weeks of fun.
No, I mean, who knows? We went knowing that maybe we will, maybe we won't, but let's just enjoy each other and, the experience.
Well, how do you feel about him? Are you like in love with him?
Oh, well, I respect, appreciate, and admire him, but I know that long term probably wouldn't be great for either of us. But man, what a ride!
You are so mature. I love this. Go do your thing.
How old are you? I mean, you sound like you got everything figured out. How old are you?
39.
Okay. All right. So you're a non-traditional student.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. So you've been through a little bit of life enough to know what you want and not to have unrealistic expectations.
Didn't you just have a baby though?
No.
Oh.
We have more than one Sunny listener.
Okay. Anyway, so you're going to go out there and just Carrie Bradshaw it up in Montana.
Yeah, well, yeah, kind of. Whatever that means.
Hey, real quick, do you see she doesn't?
You never watch Sex and the City?
See, Kat assumes that everybody understands her references.
Everyone knows.
Hey, last question. Do you have your own Harley?
No, but now I want to go get an Indian, so.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Wow, this sounds like an amazing trip. Life-changing.
It was, and he was a gentleman and awesome.
Is he right there? Is that why you're saying that?
All good things.
All right. Thanks, Sonny. Great story. Have a great morning.
We're going to miss you.
You too.
You too. All right. Even though I thought you were the other Sonny, but that's okay. We'll miss you anyway.
Apparently, both you Sonnies are getting mixed up today, and Kat's whole world is turned upside down. So on Friday's live show, of course, a lot of laughs and $5,000 for you to win about 8:30 right after the weekend rollout with DJ Johnny D, and that'll start right at 8 o'clock. You get 30 minutes of old school. It's going to be a fun show Friday during our live edition. Right now, let's wrap up the podcast.
Bingo! How fun!
Last week, someone lost an eye at bingo. Bingo!
Bingo what bingo?
Bingo! Bingo! So this morning, Kat is looking for anyone listening who
has ever had to wait in line. Well, you chose to, whether it was like Black Friday deals that you couldn't do without, or concert tickets. And Benson Boone was talking about how his fans wait for hours and hours.
They would wait outside the door for 8 hours. 8 hours in the cold just to look at me, give me a hug without my permission, and just take a video of my face. That's all. That's what they did every single time.
I barely wait for the self-checkout line at Target.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't imagine waiting 8 hours to see anyone, but I guess if you're a huge fan and you get a chance to meet him, I would get that. I'm looking for anyone listening who currently has a family member in, quote, timeout. They may have
a little like a level of guilt almost. I had a family member that was in for a while. And I mean, I was younger when he was in. He was in for like 8 years. And he's such a great guy. It was one of those wrong place, wrong time type of situations. But like, I just look back and think how lonely he was, It's gotta be a lot.
Everyone makes their mistakes.
Yeah.
And we had talked to a listener yesterday who he was like, yep, waiting on my son for his timeout. And I think he gets out in January. So then they've got this like optimistic view of what's going to happen once that all happens. So, hey, Melissa, which one fits you? Which bingo are you going to get?
So JJ wins.
Okay. Yay, I win a lot, I feel. Do you want to mention who the family member is, or is it a close friend, or who's in the pokey?
It's actually my fiance, who's been in timeout for over 2.5 years, and he has 7 months left to go and gets out in April of next year, like right around his birthday, in time for that. So,
is there any chance he gets out a little bit early, or is this like good time?
The early time. Oh. That's the early time because he's in federal prison.
Got it. So, what does it rhyme with? Why he's in there? Can you tell us?
I don't know what rhymes with that.
Do you want to just say it?
It's kind of bad.
Okay, well, you don't have to say it then.
That's okay.
So, were you engaged before he went away?
guessing. Yeah, we were talking about it and stuff like that. So, so I decided to wait for him until he comes back. And even after he has to go to, like, the halfway house for how long and be on house arrest for how long. So, I decided to write it out with him because he is a really good person. It was just in a really bad situation and place of mind at the time and stuff, I guess.
That was going to be my follow-up question here is, like, I mean, a lot of people would say, hey, if somebody in my life that says they love me makes this kind of mistake, am I going to wait it out 2.5, 3, 4, 5, whatever amount of years? What's the enduring quality that you keep thinking about as you're awaiting his release?
I guess I want to say the loneliness. I mean, like, I just do kids, work, grandkids.
Yeah.
But, it just sucks not being able to talk to somebody every day, only at specific times and things like that. Or when big things happen in your life and you're like, oh, but I gotta wait till he calls me.
Yeah.
You know?
I watched Love After Lockup. And do you feel like it's going to be hard to get him back into this life?
No, I mean, no, because it was hard to take him from, like, this life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, to see him go down that rabbit hole, so to say. It was really, really hard to watch him, and eventually he got in trouble, and so it's like,
How often do you get contact? Do you get to go see him, or is it only by phone and mail?
Well, he's actually in Oklahoma, so I mean. It's nice because I guess, the feds give you 500 minutes a month, like, for free to call family members and loved ones and your kids and stuff like that. So it's kind of nice because he's out of state. So
what does he say it's like in there?
A whole different world. Like, he came from, like, a good home and a good family, like, suburb type of thing. And so it's really been an eye-opener for him, especially when, like, he's, like, the minority in there now. So understands a lot of politics out here, so to say.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I told him you should come on and write a book. I said it's something that's gonna wow, like he would
it's
never want to go back in.
To a lot of people, you always have. I've got a trillion questions, and
you watch 60 Days In, you're like easy peasy lemon squeezy. I could totally.
Those guys can bail at any time, so it's a little bit of a different mentality. Yeah. And when does it get out again, Melissa?
In April of next year.
All right.
Well, thank you for calling and dishing on this. It's very personal.
Yeah, keep the faith, and we hope everything turns out right once you kind of get reintegrated and get back this life that you want.
Right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great morning.
Can you help me? Can you help me? Can you help me? Everybody!
Other people's problems. You got something going on in your life and you want to take a quick poll of our audience? This is the place to come. We bring our friend Jason onto the show because sounds like congratulations are in order, maybe a new job in the works.
Yeah, man, I got a new job offer. Crazy enough, it's in Seattle. They're requiring me to move. I have no problem telling you that it's a $250,000 offer. The only reason, though, I don't want to go is because my parents are finally reaching that age.
Yeah.
They're both in their 70s, and their health is declining pretty fast, but they both want me to take the job, but I feel like the job right now that's most important is to, look after them the way they looked after me for so long.
And that's so beautiful. I saw something online where it said if your parents are in their late 60s, early 70s, and, on average, you see them about 4 or 5 times a year, you're really only going to see them for like 20 more times.
See,
20 more visits, and that hurts my heart.
This is so weird, though. Like, I'm no spring chicken, but if any of my kids have a job offer to go to, like, freaking Antarctica or, Italy, listen, I'm going to die when I'm going to die. I don't need them to hang around and take care of me, Like, I don't want to ever stifle their chance at having an amazing career and amazing life so they can, wipe me. Like,
it doesn't sound like they want that for you either. They want you to live your life, and they don't want to feel like a hindrance. No parent does. So
then again, though, like, what if you move and all of a sudden one of them has an accident? And I get this. I'm sure some other people have been through it, but which way are you leaning right now? Are you thinking about staying here, or are you really thinking about taking this gig?
I mean, honestly, it's one of those things where it's like I could stay here and potentially wait for another offer, maybe, because I mean it is Seattle. I've only been to Seattle a couple of times, and honestly, it's like a cosplay Portland, but Portland is much better.
Okay,
that money's
and
good.
Like I don't know. See, I mean, it's I'm a Dunkin' guy too, and they're a Starbucks town, and I don't know.
Now we got our priorities all over the place.
Prioritizing. So let's see what everybody else thinks, because I'm going to guess that just knowing our listeners, I'm going to guess most people are going to say stay. But like if it were me and I was your dad, I'd be like, there's no reason you should stay for something like this. So let's see what everybody else thinks, okay?
Sure.
Get out with LPP. Can you help me? Get out with LPP. Can you help me? Get out with LPP. Can you help me? Get out with LPP. Everybody.
I'm going to summarize the conversation we just had with Jason a couple of seconds ago. He just got this new job offer in Seattle. It's paying like $250,000 a year. And his only holdback is that his parents are getting into their like 70s.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, you want to spend as much time as possible, but I think you made a good point. I mean, even if you're living in the same town as your parents, you've got a busy life, right? Like you got a family, you got a job. How often are you seeing them? And he's kind of like, I feel like I kind of need to stay close to my mom and dad as they get older if they're going to need me.
Yeah, I would say a lot of these texters are saying stick around. Like you're going to regret leaving. So
I think that's a Midwestern thing.
Maybe. Bree says stay. They're gone too soon. 4 months without my dad. I wish I had had more time. Melissa says I would stick around. Lost my dad in December. I am so glad that I had as much time with him as I did. It really depends on the individual relationships. So
I would also bet that the people that are saying stick around probably didn't have parents that saw the world.
Yeah.
Like, I think about your grandparents and how much travel they've done. I would never think that they would tell any of their kids, stay right here in the same city I'm in because I'm getting old.
Right. But I do have that in the back of my mind. You know what I really regret is not going to Chicago and seeing my great-grandpa Don. Like, I have a deep, just like all those summers where I'm like, yeah, we'll try to get out there. And then some summers we went out there and didn't go visit him, and it just like makes me so sad because he was such a great guy.
Earlier in my career, I had plenty of opportunities to get around the country with radio jobs, and my wife was very adamant about staying within a couple hours of her parents and her family. Yeah. And now she regrets that. She's like, we could have had amazing adventures in.
Oh, she does.
Yeah.
Okay.
She regrets it now. Like, we have this conversation every once in a while, and she's like, I really wish you'd have taken that job in Denver, or you'd have taken that job or wherever.
Wow.
And so just want to get thoughts on this. Kate, what are you thinking here?
I have older parents. My parents adopted me when they were in their late 40s.
Okay.
And I always wanted to go away. They never gave me permission to do that. And I think that his parents telling him that he should go, that's amazing. Like, I've always wanted to go away. And they just said, we're older.
They never gave you permission. Did you ask them, or they just put it out there like, we don't want you guys to move anywhere?
I did ask. My husband was active duty military, and we could have gone all sorts of other places in the world.
Yeah.
And they said, you should be by family. Family's important, and I understand that. But, that was just a little chapter of our life, and
right.
It would have been awesome to do.
How did your husband deal with that? Two older people telling him what to do with his life, too.
Well, he was in the infantry, so he still got his adventure. Like, he was deployed many times and got to go do that.
Yeah.
And I just stayed in Minnesota to be by family.
Yeah, I get that. And I get both angles. Most of our texters, though, I'm very surprised by this, are saying stay.